Devonport do. They're coming into the game in better form, but they have been very good this season. Before those games there, they were sweeping all before them. And we might have a look at those Devonport games if we can, Ash.
Yeah,
see that is some pretty terrific form, isn't it?
Look at that juicy form, Drewster. The form line has just been tremendous. Look how many 5-goal hauls you've got there, Drewster. You've got, 4? So that's tremendous, and it speaks to their goal-scoring power and the goal-scoring prowess. Interesting to note that 5-0 win against Launceston City. No goals coming from Braden Mann, so it shows they've got a lot of avenues. They're not a one-trick pony, but they do possess what is the most fearsome striker in the state in recent history in Braden Mann. We might have a look at his goal-scoring form, and we'll go through the key plays for both these sides. Braden Mann has netted 12. Drops away a little bit to Joel Stone at 4, who's in a real purple patch through. So really sharp form is Joel Stone. And then you've got a host of got 3s, 2s and 1s. So it shows they've got plenty of avenues. And the big boys don't mind piling forward at the set pieces and causing a bit of havoc. The Zebras, a little bit different. Usual suspects when it comes to Adam McKeown. He's got 10. He just bangs them in. He just finds a way to finish off goals. And Luke Oogsley, who's been a big inclusion this year, probably hasn't put away as many goals as he would have liked, but certainly created a lot. And 7 is still decent on that front. And Dwayne Walsh, since moving to a wing, has really been a threat. So probably not as many avenues to goal in recent times, the Zebras, as Devonport. We see Kurt Engels feature on that list, so that probably shows that it falls away a little bit. Plenty for the strikers. As we look about the Golden Boot, the PFD Golden Boot, Braden Mann just won adrift of Albie Lazinski before today's game. I'm not sure if Lazinski shot any home, but
I think he's got 2 or 3 today, so he might have just pulled out a little bit there. So Braden will be keen to chase that down, no doubt. Does love a goal.
Exactly right, and Adam McKeown not out of that one either at 10. So it's game on here, and it's a massive game. So much riding on it, Drew. So I wouldn't mind looking at the lineups. We'll get to both sides in just a tick. I've just caught Ash. There he is, ever reliable Ash Wilkes. We'll go through the host first of all, Drew, to take us through them.
Oh, you got the number 1, the Scotsman, Graham Wright. Very good goalkeeper. Probably the 2 best goalkeepers in the state on show today in Wright and Giansopoulos. Number 2, Lukey Hughes, the big target man up top. Won't have the physical advantage he normally does today, coming up against the likes of Zupo and Grattan, 2 physically imposing defenders, so he's probably going to have to come a little bit deeper, receive the ball, do his work with his feet. He might not have the usual impact he does in the air. Number 3, Jaden Hay. Well, he'll be playing the number 3 role today. He appears to be the solution at left back, and was subbed off at half-time last week, which was interesting. There was a bit of tension there. Clearly, perhaps not a fan of playing left back, but that's where he is today, and does seem to be their best solution after Conway departed. Number 6, Jordan Muller, has had another steady year in midfield, was outstanding against Clarence last week. Very good passer of the ball. He'll be key to their fortunes. Henry Fagg, he'll line up in the heart of defence alongside number 17, Tyler Harrison. A pretty good pairing, and obviously with a number of centre-backs on their list, the pressure was on Fagg. He was dropped earlier in the year to make room, but he's fought back well, and he's in a real rich vein of form, and that's a pretty good defensive partnership. Matthias Tolkier will line up at right back. In midfield, James Sherman will be alongside Muller. He sit a little bit deeper, pulling the strings. Very good over the set pieces. He's a class act Sherman. He'll get stuck in with a challenge or two. Number 21, Long Lee. We're looking forward to seeing what the little fella can do.
Yeah, if we can get a bit of a close-up on that one. Long Lee, the new
compare him
new
with
recruit.
The giants of his back four at Devonport. It's
going to be really interesting. We'll see him come through in a moment. He's a diminutive figure, isn't he, Lung Lee? Really looking forward to what he brings to the table. And back on the lineups, we also saw on the bench there Hugh Undy and Paul Stevens. So huge ins coming back from Queensland. We'll quickly get on to the Banana Slugs, as they're known when they hit the road. Nico Giansopoulos in goal. Bradley Chilcott. That can't be right. Dom Smith, it'd be Grattan, I think, in the heart of defence alongside Zupo. Dom Smith, you'd see on one side, and Kieran Mulroney on the other. And then I think it's going to be the trio they've gone for in midfield in recent times. Drewster, Daniel Syson, Miles Barnard, and Joel Stone, with Adam Gorry, Braden Mann centrally, and Brody Dennehy on the other side. On the bench, I think we'll see Bradley Chilcott, The big Chris McKenna, who just strolled on last week, the king of Devonport, strolled on and just scored a lovely little chip with a belly slide just to add to it. And he actually has a fair bit off the bench, so it'll be interesting to see whether the king does grace us today. But Peter Saville, not a big one on subs in general. Likes to stay with a settled squad, stay with that 11 and back them in to do the job. And can you blame him? Because so far, so good as far as the strikers are concerned. They sit on top of the table. Today, they've got to go out and do a job and continue their stay at the pinnacle. Can they do it, Drewster?
I think they can. It's going to be a fascinating battle, a very mobile front three that Devonport have. Can they take advantage of the bigger pitch, pull the defenders out of position, use their pace? How deep will they sit back? Perhaps last time they were caught pushing up the field a little bit and caught in behind by the likes of Walsh and McKeown. Hugh Sloot was a big influence. How will it play out today? It's going to be fascinating. I really find it hard to split these sides.
Come on, mate.
I've looked
Put
over
them out
during
there.
the week. I was all for the draw. But the closer it's got the game time, the more I fancy the banana slugs, and I think they might just do it today. Gilly, Devonport 2-1.
Yeah, I'm on the slugs as well. 3-1. And it'll be Zebras with a kick-off. I'm really interested to see what Lung Lee brings to the table. Meant to be a very sharp customer. As Graham Wright just takes his sweet time to come out onto the field. Quick little bathroom break perhaps there for the Scotsman. But yeah, Lung Lee's, we've seen some short players in the league, but I think Lung Lee takes the cake. He's diminutive. He's meant to be really classy and silky on the ball. I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings to the table. And also, they've got things to go to on the bench now, the Zebras, as it comes back to Lung Lee. Early involvement puts Tokyo under the pump a little, but he puts it down the line for Walsh. Walsh has it blocked. Smith says thank you very much. Plays forward, only finds Fag for the opposition, who finds McKeown in the bullseye. Muller tries to outstretch a leg and get it under control. Can't as it comes to Barnard. Can't find Mann, and now Hayes at the races. This is what he can bring from fullback. He finds McKeown. Bombing on is Jaden Hay. Plays it into the box, and G1 Sopoulos down comfortably to collect. And they're out now on the left-hand side. Drewster.
Interesting to see Sherman pushing on there. He appears to be playing well up the field, which is surprising. He almost influences there, but Grattan well away in the direction of Tyler Harrison. It's interesting to see Sherman playing in the 10. He's actually perhaps even further as a striker, and Hugh Sloot goes up for this one. Here's Walsh with a bit of space down the right. He immediately crosses, but straight into the hands of G1 Sopoulos. So it looks like Lung Lee will play alongside Muller a little bit deeper, and Sherman seems to be playing almost as a striker with Hugh Sloot in behind.
I guess the thinking there, Drewster, would be Lung Lee with a bit of a diminutive figure is probably a better matchup in midfield in terms of a defensive sense than a attacking one, given the big players Devonport have, as Gorry drops it off from Brodie Dennehy on the right wing. It's cut off at the 6-yard box. Again, Gorry gets it. Probably an underrated year as Adam Gorry. Drops it off for Stone. He certainly hasn't. Fireworks to come, no doubt. That's Sison even, and he loses it. And it's Walsh now, looking for Sherman, just cut off. Put over the top by Hoogsloot. Hoogsloot looks to be playing in midfield. I think you're right, Drewster. I think we might see a bit of switching between him and Sherman as the day goes out. But I don't mind that. I don't think we've seen enough of Hoogsloot in midfield so far this season.
And I don't think Devonport would have been expecting it either. I think he sprung a bit of a surprise here, Chris Hay. They wouldn't have prepared for this, expecting Sherman to be up top. They probably weren't expecting Lung Lee in the starting lineup either. So some different things for Peter Saville's men to consider here. Grattan over the ball. We saw the first real moment in attack for Devonport came as a result of Stone forcing the turnover, and that's one thing this really mobile attacking lineup of Devonport do so well. They press hard, Mann, Dennehy, Gorry, and then you got Stone supporting from midfield. They force turnovers.
Yeah, and they switch too, Drewster. They don't let their opponents get relaxed because they're always switching. You see Gorry has a little run in midfield, he'll swap with Stone, and then they'll switch back, and then Dennehy will get in the mix. It's tough to keep track of if you're a fullback. G1 Sopoulos gets this one under his spell, just at the edge of the box. So Sherman up front. You need someone like Sherman up against a big back four because he's going to keep him honest. He's really going to harass and get stuck in, and that's what they need, physicality. As Walsh comes in late on Gorry, nothing coming from referee. And throw in now.
Big Toggill to take it down the line. Hugh Sloot beaten there by Sison. He's going to be vital today. That's going to be a match-up to watch. Sison sticking very close to him in the early stages. Lung Lee gets a touch. He left that one for Jordan Muller. The Zebras will patiently build, and they don't mind doing this. They retreat all the way back. Braden Mann's up there. He'll keep hassling away all afternoon. Long it goes in the direction of Walsh. Nods into the path of Sherman. And very late there was the big Zupa Duper. He's missed
Hand
on
straight
that
up.
clearance and got a fair piece of Sherman. And it'll be a free kick in a dangerous area. And one of the best defenders, if not the best defender in the league so far this season. With a bit of a careless challenge there.
And Drewster is quick to put his hand up. He knew that one was brash. It was really late. We'll see it again. He's just more or less kicked James Sherman there, so perhaps lucky to escape a slice. Taken now into the box. It goes over the top, and Dennehy scurries it clear with a turning boot. Out for a corner now, as Devonport pile back further numbers. The skipper and the vice skipper into the box. Sherman over this. Set piece delivery, really one of his strong suits. Sherman now brings it in. Crowded box. Giansopoulos all at sea, and it's McKeown out of all those tall bodies that meets it with a head, but he puts it wide. We'll see this again. Giansopoulos in no man's land, really.
And horribly misjudged that.
McKeown puts it wide. A let off for Devonport because Giansopoulos has been so assured this year, but that one was a moment of chaos at the back.
Well, McKeown bobbed up and scored ahead of the last time these two sides met in the land of the Giants back there with all the back four, very solid physical figures, and he somehow bobbed up between them all and scored a goal. Nearly repeated the dose there as Devonport work it forward now, and it'll be taken in by Mulroney. He throws down the line in the direction of Stone. He's been in blistering form. Hasn't seen a lot of it early. He's tackled here by Jaden Hay, who started well at the left back. Probably not his preferred position, but he's certainly effective there. And looking at the squad at their disposal with so many midfield options, he does make a lot of sense in that position, Jaden Hay. They love the long throw, Devonport. Will we see it here? No. Short to Stone, who's just missed time the trap on that one. It rolls past him. The Zebras will clear the area, and Mulroney will again reload with the throw in. And wide opening here, no real chances of note yet. And scuttles behind for a goal kick for Graham Wright.
Graham Wright, over a piece of it. Goes short and finds Harrison, who send along. And that'll bounce into the opposing box. So, Drewster, that first real moment of the game there with Giansopoulos misjudging it and over the top and McKeown just nudging wide. The first real moment, although not a shot on goal that really scared them too much in the finish as it comes down the line from a throw-in from Mulroney, kept alive by Gorry. Fag puts it out, but is it danger as he finds Sison? Sison looks to knock into the path of Barnard. He's worked off it by Muller, rather. Toghill down the line. It's a lucky ball. It fortuitously finds its way through to Sherman, who has it slid away from him. Gets a piece of the midfielder come forward as well, so it'll be a free kick. When Sherman first arrived on the scene last year, he was playing as a centre forward, so I think it might have a bit to do with his low fitness base as well, with him battling the injury as it comes in long, looking for Hoogsloot. Zupo under it. Down now as it's flicked on by Stone. Fag the only one there to meet it. He gets it involved, but picks out Gorry, who goes direct and finds Mann, who with a spin puts in a bar for Dennehy. His height unfortunately doesn't help him there, and it's Graham Wright out to collect. An almost moment there for the strikers as Zebras regain possession. Lung Lee with a spin and a pirouette, and he just finds his centre half, Harrison, who's always a calm customer. 1-2 with Walsh. Looks for an option, not a lot presenting. They press hard here, Devonport, with a man coming in on Muller. Very little in that one, but a foul nonetheless, says referee Stuart Reid. And Lung Lee wants a piece of this, but it'll be Graham Wright who switches right to left. Picks out Fag. Measures a pass for McKeown. He's bustled into, and it's one back for Devonport. Mann with a long diagonal. Will he find Dennehy? He tries to bring it under control. He has to backtrack a little. Picks it up. Puts it in the box. Looking to pose a question. Cut off from Harrison. Lung Lee wins it. Finds Muller. Out now to Walsh. He looks to use his turn of pace. He can't beat Smith as Smith cuts it off and sees it out for a throw-in.
We see there what Devonport is so good at, those long diagonals that they play to the speedy wingers in Dennehy and Gorry. They've been rotating through the positions a little bit. It's almost a 4-1-3-2 at times they've been playing. But Gorry, he'll always hassle, he'll always press the centre-back playing the ball out, as we see there. And Sison wins the ball for his side. Gorry turns and is surely fouled. And referee points for the free kick, but they're so good at when they win the ball, just quickly knocking a diagonal into the wide areas for the likes of Dennehy and Gorry, because they've got some serious pace to burn. And certainly that will help, I think, with Jaden Hay occupying one of the fullback slots. Here's Joel Stone.
Sorry, Drewster.
He's going to whip this one in. Not very good delivery, though, and eased away by Tyler Harrison. Grattan will control it. He's got time to take a touch and curl one forward, but again, it's straight down Tyler Harrison's throat. And he has time to settle on the ball and work it back to Graham Wright. The Scotsman with a nice little pass. And Fag carrying out a defence for the Zebras. McKeown offering short. Knocks it straight back and then tries to set it out in front of Hay, but perhaps impatient there. Gorry won it. Sunday McKeown. Joel Stone bustling back and just infringed McKeown there. Stone protested and he won the ball. He did take the ball but took a fair bit of the man to get it.
Love the terminology from Stoney. I got the pill.
He did.
You don't hear it too often. Loved it from Joel Stone. And of course, one of my favourites. Played from Fag to Wright. Back from Fag. In no real hurry here, the Zebras. Not a lot presenting. Eventually, Hoogsley comes for it. Nudged back, though, to the defence, and they've virtually moved nowhere. Lung Lee, the former Tottenham Hotspur Academy product, plays left, forward, down from Fag, looking for the bombing on of Hay. One in the air by Hoogsley, terrifically done. It's dropped off by Sherman. Lung Lee threads the needle and finds McKeown. It's exquisite stuff from Lung Lee at the edge of the box. Barnard, big Barnyardos across, clears comfortably. Very agricultural sometimes are the Devonport strikers. No nonsense stuff, but effective. So Jaden Hay, we've seen he's teased to really being a menacing force as a wing back as it comes into the centre. Won well by Grattan. In looking for Mann. He loses it, but he cops a bit on the way through. He'll have a free kick and he takes it immediately. Pick out Gorry, who's on the move. He's got Hay for company. Cuts inside, nips it to the edge of the box. It's Fag who's there to meet it. Clears now. Zupo ahead of Sherman. And Sison, job to do now to meet the ball before Hoogsley gets into him. Eventually Hoogsley comes after it and collects a piece of Sison. Escapes sanction. He'll walk away from that one scot-free, but a couple of fouls early doors for Hoogsley. A key player, especially with his physicality. Sison into the box. It's swallowed by Graham Wright. Certainly no worries there for the Scotsman, and he plays it short for Harrison, who finds his partner in defence, Fag. Short for Lung Lee, who we saw in a snapshot of his class a moment ago with a beautiful ball out onto the left channel. Cut off now as it looks down to the Devonport defence. Grattan, ever reliable. Looks to thread the needle, picks out Muller, and then they clutter into the back of Muller. It was a combination of Mann and Grattan. They win out, though, as Barnyard. Big Barnard picks out Dennehy to perfection. He does well to beat Toghill. Into the box, zigzagging. What can he do now? He's met with a boot from Muller, and it's Mann who meets it, but he's offside. And that thwarts that Devonport attack, but they do look plucky on the counter, Drewster.
Lovely bit of skill there from Brodie Dennehy. Just lacked the support, but he beat one man in the end. Numbers winning out for the Zebras, but that's the threat he poses. He's a very clever player, Brodie Dennehy. Real pace and a bag of tricks. Here's Lung Lee, who's been playing very deep. He's been dropping into his own half to receive the ball. He and Muller both just sitting in front of that back four, and there's Hughes Ludo's playing the number 10 role today. Still no real chances 13 minutes into this one. A fairly cagey opening. I think that'll suit Devonport. They'll be happy to shut this one down. As the ball's chipped forward straight to Zupo, who just lets it roll through to Giansopoulos. He'll be grateful his misjudgment from the corner didn't hurt him earlier. He looks up here. And they're in no real rush at this stage, other strikers, to get things moving. He takes his sweet old time and launches it long onto the head of McKeown. Grattan will read this one in ahead of Walsh. He nods it forward. Tyler Harrison was again there to break it up. Very good defender, Tyler Harrison. Here's Grattan and Sison working in tight areas, and now they spread it wide to Joel Stone. He looks up and has a run at the defence to Joel Stone. He gets around Toghill, couldn't get around Jaden. Who is that? It was Fag, in fact. He's done superbly well, and now he looks to start the attack. Straining the sinews was Dom Smith, the fullback, who's got some serious height about him. Yeah, the young fullback, and he needed every inch of it.
I was about to say, Drewster, there's no getting over the back of that defence. They're all 6 foot plus.
That's the thing. You've got to hit it so far over their heads to do so.
Man pressures well here on Fag. He might have caused something. Clutters into right. The call has to be made. No, says Stuart Reid. Waved on. Maybe Mann just went down a little easy there. We'll have to have a look at the replay. There's Mann, who didn't do too much untoward there. Graham Wright virtually came at him and looked to shield off the ball.
Well, he's not attacked the ball.
He has not attacked the ball. For me, that's a penalty.
Yeah, he's
I think Mann has a fairly just argument. But in real time, it was pretty tricky to pick, to be honest. We have the benefit of a replay, Drewster. As it's picked up from right, goes wide to Harrison. But certainly Braden Mann thought he deserved a spot kick on that occasion, as it's picked up by Sherman. He gets away from his marker, Grattan. What can he do here, Sherman? Can he craft something? Finds Muller. Muller looks back. He'll look to revert to the defence, will he? No. Barnard with some strong pressure. Slides in, misses everything. Foul but waved on. It's won by Mulroney away from McKeown. He's at the races. Beats one. Can't beat Lung Lee as he gets a vital intervention. Fag now just dips it over the top. Wins it to McKeown. McKeown hustles and bustles, and there's meaty challenges all over the place, but in the end it's out for a zebra ball. Hay now. This is a strong Zebras lineup, and to think Aaron Cairns just walked and took a seat in the stands says so much of how much talent is stocked in this squad at the minute. Played forward from Harrison, back through Hoogsloot. The H's combine and find Lung Lee. Play short. It's Tyler Harrison on it. Forward looking for Sherman. Pressure coming from him. Wins it back. It's Dennehy now. Looks to beat Hoogsloot. Can't. Those long hooks dig it out. Now it's with Stone with a bit of advantage. Gets by one with a bit of razzle-dazzle. Down the line from Mulroney to Mann. Sprays the ball forward. It's cut off, but not well from Tyler Harrison. Lets in Dennehy. Wide on the right. He picks out Gorry. Gorry with a ball to the back stick. Wright doesn't gather it. It's Barnard onto it. He fashions a shot, but luckily for Wright, Harrison's there to save the day. Could have easily been 1-0 Devonport. As we see it come over the top, Wright all at sea. Really had butterfingers all over him there. Looked to fashion a shot. It was Barnard. Didn't get a great piece of it. And Harrison, with a lunging effort, saves the day for the Zebras. They will walk away from a very nervy moment at home. It's Lung Lee now. Spreads wide. Received back to Muller through Hay. And it's McKeown now. Drops it off. Hay, who keeps working down that left-hand flank. It's a dangerous ball across the box. No one claims it. And Don Smith clears for the Strikers as it's out on the far side. A real game we have on our hands here, Drewster. Nervy moments at both ends. None nervier than the moment just 2 or so minutes ago, probably only a minute ago, where Graham Wright, you don't see him just drop those. And luckily he had Tyler Harrison just riding shotgun with him as Stone looks to thread the needle. It's won by Fag. He somehow finds his way through but can't beat Gorry, who does well to beat him. Beats Sherman. Through finds Dennehy. Spreads wide out on the left. It's Mann who's done a lot of work so far. He's out on the left. He'll look to play it back. Will he? Does. Finds Gorry. Can't get it through the gap and it's cut off, and the Zebras could be away now the other direction. Forward finds Sherman and Walsh, who's held up maybe smartly by Gorry as they can get a few numbers back. And it'll be a quick set piece taken. Lungley now in possession. Forward finds Walsh and back to that defence. Ever reliable defence. Tyler Harrison, who's saved Zebras once already. Jordan Muller back for Harrison. Looking for Jaden Hay to make a run, I think, out on the left. Tracking with Stone, and Stone across to see it out. And it'll be a striker's throw. Down from Stone, the vice-captain to the captain, to Mann. A nice dink over the top, and Stone claims it. Puts it into the middle. It's Lung Lee who looks to deal with it, but could have almost bundled it into his own net if not for Graham Wright being hot on it. And he collects on his own line. Drewster, it's all happening here at KG5.
Yeah, it's been working the blog for the last 5 minutes or so. The game's really come to life, but you've got to say that Devonport looked the better team through the first 19 minutes. They're on top of the contest. Zebras have had a couple of moments in attack, but certainly the Strikers certainly having the better of the opening exchanges. They look lively up top. They're beating the defenders, and they've certainly started well. Dwayne Walsh here as Zebras look to get a foothold. They won't with passing like that. It just sprays straight over the sideline, and Barnard will receive short and drop it towards Gorry. Immediately that's closed down by Muller. A very good first 20 minutes for the Strikers. They've kept things pretty tight, and in a game of few chances they've probably had the best moments, although certainly helped by a really poor error by Graham Wright. Fortunate they weren't punished. The shot maybe just lacking a bit of conviction. Tyler Harrison has done well. Dennehy again beating a man. He has been very lively early. Overlapping in support is Smith. He drops the shoulder, beats one and centres it, but finds only Lung Lee, and the little fella spreads it out of defence. Mulroney was there ahead of Sunday. He closed it down well, and a nervy moment there from Mulroney. Loses the ball. Luckily for him, a big Zupa Duper Joey Zupo is there to whack that one up into the stands convincingly there.
I think Chris Hay would be happy with McKeown's pressure on that occasion. I think the one knock on Mulroney's game has always been his use by foot. He's strong in the air via head, but sometimes if he's under pressure he can cough it up easily. So good pressure there from McKeown as play goes on. Toghill has his effort blocked. Muller in the air, and he's bundled into the back of him, so a set piece, Drewster.
Yeah, chance for them to whip one in here and cause a few problems. Really interesting tactical affair here, opening up. Set pieces, an area of strength for both sides normally, but good solid defences will be hard for either to breach. Although both keepers a little bit suspect early days under the high ball, which is not something you'd normally say about them. It's going to be Jaden Hay to send this one in. Giantsopoulos is always going to swallow that up. That was easy for the Canadian. He launches the quick release. This is what they're good at. Joel Stone bursting down the right now. He's sprinting off down. Lung Lee giving chase. It's Stone looking to cut inside. Drops the shoulder, beats one, but couldn't beat Henry Fagg, who was across to cover. He has been outstanding so far, Fagg. It's the third or fourth time he's shut down a menacing looking attack.
It was electric, wasn't it, from Stone? We just saw a glimpse of what he can do, Drewster. This is back now. Gorry into the box, finds Dennehy, and it's a good connection with a volley, but just wide, agonising wide. As we see the replay on the right of your screen, as before that was Lung Lee who almost put it into his, well, not so much into his own net, cut off a menacing attack. We might see the replay of that effort from Dennehy, probably the best chance of the game. As we see that, it was a good strike on the right peg from Brody Dennehy. Picks this one up, plays it into the box. It's one well in the air, but no one to contest with there, Fag. Too easy for the centre half. Sison now on the ball. Just gets to work, Sison, just cuts it out. Smith now. It's an interesting effort to the front post. No one there but Wright, and he'll claim it. Right. both goalkeepers who are usually so assured have had shaky moments in this game. Nico Giansopoulos, who came to claim a corner and got nowhere near it, and Graham Wright, who almost just gave Devonport a goal by just fumbling one. It's been an interesting game. I think tensions are high with so much riding on it. It's Lung Lee goes down. The diminutive midfielder might just find Fag, ask plenty of him, and it's out.
That's poor. It's an unforced error.
It is poor. I don't know whether it was Lung Lee or whether it was Fag, but I think it was maybe overstruck a little bit from the new recruit. From Mulroney to Zupo. Look at this fella, isn't he just a mountain? Sends down the line, what delivery, picks out Gorry, beats one. They might be on here, Devonport. Gorry into the top of the 6. Will they get it out? Falls for Gorry again. It ping-pongs around from him to Barnard, and they'll scurry clear the Zebras somehow. Zupo ahead of Sherman as one from Hoogsley. He runs in, and Smith, vital intervention, but Hale looked to bomb down this left-hand side as he has all day, but he's got Stone, who's up to the task. Wins it for a moment, then blocks it well. Here they go, Devonport. McKeown back to track. It's Gorry now in possession. Chips to the edge of the box, and it'll be claimed by Graham Wright. Frenetic stuff here at KG5, the home of football. 0-0 as it stands between Hobart Jeep Zebras, second place, and the ladder leading Devonport Strikers. 25 gone.
Yeah, real pace to it. Jaden Hay has really been pushing on the left fullback position. He's been bombing on every chance his team's had the ball. He's really pushing up the field. He got beaten there moments earlier by Adam Gorry, but every time they have the ball at the back, he's pushing really high up the field and looking to get in behind. He's done it again here, and the ball comes in his direction. But Big Zupo read the situation. He was there to clear. It was played a bit too narrow, but it's an area they're looking to get in. Muller got there, but Barnard one in ahead of him. Here is that man, Jaden Hay. Turns onto his right, shielding the ball well is Sherman. Held it up really well. A good battle with Grattan that. Lung Lee from range. But it's high, wide, and not very pretty. As the little fellow just leant back and whacked that one. Some really good, strong centre-forward play from Sherman there, though. Just held the big defender off it, protected it, waited for the corridor to open up, and then laid it back. Unfortunately, end product just not there from Big Lung.
Big Lung has absolutely unleashed a missile there. Unfortunately, not a homing one. It's gone well high of goal. Giansopoulos will bring this one back underway as it comes long from him. Straight to Walsh, though, so the Zebras will have it back. No, they won't, says Joe Zupo. Gives it back to his countryman. Nico Alonga this time, looking for Mulroney under it. He sits, wins it well. One back from Fag. This is his sort of contest, I think, Henry Fag, as it comes long. Under is Fag and Mann, and then Stone in the finish. It's seen clear from Fag and out for a banana slug throw in. Down the line it comes. One by Stone. He's hustling and bustling with Hay.
Just holding hands there, the two. Just having a little hand grab with each other there.
I don't think they ever played together at Zebras, because I think at that time Jaden Hay was at the Knights, but it looked very friendly between the pair there. This Fag now. Looks long, and long he goes. Under it is Sherman, brings it down and plays it well, looking for Muller. Back now for Toghill. Toghill's got Lung Lee on. Doesn't venture too far forward, Lung Lee, just that shielding influence. Plays and finds Jaden Hay out on the left, who's been busy overlapping. McKeown can't thread the needle and find him again. It's from Gorry to Mann, and here we are. The state's leading spearhead. What can he do? He's got a couple to contend with. He shapes to shoot. It's blocked. He's still got it here, Mann. He looks to fashion another shot, and it's into the side. And he's not happy again, Braden Mann. He wasn't happy before when he had a very fair penalty shout. As we see this, I don't know whether it caught a bit of Tyler Harrison on the way, to be truthful.
Just appealing it, but Tyler Harrison stood up really well under a stern examination there. He's bursting forward. He's
Sherman.
He's charged down. He's got Sherman overlapping, who started the move. He pinpoints across in towards McKeown. Mulroney did well to win it away, and Gorry will clear. This one hacked on out of there, but really well defended moments earlier by Tyler Harrison. Well defended by Mulroney there. Both defences standing up. We saw Devonport turning defence into attack in the blink of an eye, and the Zebras doing likewise. Both teams looking quite dangerous on the counter-attack. Slightly different styles. Sherman holding the ball up and bringing his runners into it, whereas they're a bit more direct. Devonport just whack it to Mann, who'll sprint with the ball. And here's McKeown, who fashions a shot. It was blocked and then fell onto Sherman. There was a hand used in the process or an offside. Either way, the assistant's raised his flag, and we will see a goal kick to clear it. Yeah, I think he was in an offside position. Might have been handball. Could have been both. Either way.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Regardless, the Strikers regain possession, Drewster. A real arm wrestle we have before us.
Yeah, really interesting contest so far. Both teams have had their moments. I've been more convinced by what I've seen from Devonport. I think they've looked the better side. But
wholeheartedly agree.
Certainly not dominant. There's a threat about Zebras when they go forward, and McKeown looking dangerous here. Stone tracking back well, but you'd have to say the first half now, Devonport have probably shaded it. Both teams have got quality out there on the park, and it's showing who's going to be able to break down these defences. Both very good defensive units. A few of the South Hobart boys are rocking up now. Plenty of scouts from other teams in attendance for this one. Saw McNeil and Jablonski, the coaches of tomorrow's games. The Eastern Shore Derby tomorrow here having a look. This one is going to be brought back for a foul on Mulraney, and a chance for them to play one into the box perhaps. Joey Zupo lumbering up towards this one. Just a massive unit, absolute mountain of a man, the Canadian. You pair that with Lung Lee, who's perhaps surprisingly playing just in front of the back four. He was billed midweek as probably the man who replaced Cairns, but it's not but set up. Kept that one under his hat quite well, Chris, eh?
I think they got him as a defensive midfielder. He's become highly recommended, Drewster, so he's played his role pretty well so far, and G. Sherman's been really, really good up front, I think. As it's played back to that Zebras defence, pressing on as Devonport, and Graham Wright a little nervily. It's won by Barnard. Can't quite bring it under his spell, and it's Hay now, and McKeown does well somehow. He always finds a way, McKeown, to just keep the ball when he shouldn't. From Lung Lee to Muller, scoops over the top, asking plenty of Sherman. Zupo will have this one on his own. Out for Dennehy, who's been good. Oh, he maybe gets a little over-adventurous on this occasion, but there's Barnard to cut it out, only as far as Tolgill finds Hoogsluke. Time and space to go back for Lung Lee. Lung Lee finds Hay, who's been good. I think he's a great fullback as it's flicked on back to him. Hay takes a touch. He puts a ball in the box. It's a menacing one, and Sherman can't quite get a piece of it as Giansopoulos is across to snatch it from his grasp. A good bit of goalkeeping there as Toghill will pick it up in live action. Finds McKeown. Drops it off for Hoogsluke, who's been playing in midfield. Finds Hay. Back for Hoogsluke. He might just find Lung Lee, and he does. Away they go. Lee, very measured. Picks up Walsh, bobbles up on his boot. The clearing effort from Grattan is blocked, and it's back with Giansopoulos. Long down the left and out of play for a throw-in.
Really impressed with Syson's work early in this game. He's been all over Luke Hughes. Every time he's got near the ball, he's been there nipping at his heels. He might have got him behind him there. He's got away from him and takes the opportunity. First time he's had any real space today, and he launches one well over the bar. It's the first time he'd escaped the shackles of Syson, who, as I've been saying, it's really been tight on him. Hasn't given him time, and when he got it, he blazed over there. First time he had open field ahead of him, really. It was perhaps an ill-advised effort from Hughes-Luke, who's playing that number 10 role today, as we mentioned. That Sherman starting up top. Lung Lee playing the role Sherman has played in recent weeks. Giansopoulos goes in the direction of Mulraney, flicked on well to Gorry. His touch was a little bit half-hearted, and it sees a turnover. Walsh comes deep to receive it. Back to Lung Lee. In busy, Syson nips in ahead brilliantly here. Hasn't got a lot in support. He's got Braden Mann though. Mann looks up. Gorry making a bursting run to his right if he sees him. He does. Feeds it to him. This is looking ominous. It's Gorry crossing to the back post where no one was in the end. Dennehy be there to collect. Zebras have got members back. He crosses it. It's headed away. It falls to the top of the box where Stone shoots one, and it wasn't far away from Joel Stone. D Gill's up and about like that. He liked what he saw. There's a dangerous build-up, and again, they're so quick, bursting forward in support in wide areas. It was dipping, but not quite enough, and I think Wright always had that one covered.
Drewster, they just need to start taking shots, I think, Devonport. These nice crosses from the wing just aren't finding people, and I think we just need to see them fire fire off a little bit earlier and pose a few more questions to Graham Wright. As it's played long from Fag out onto the left, Jaden Hay. He's been bombing down the wing to great effect, Drewster. And Gorry sees this one out. Not happy about it, but it'll be a zebra throw. The Black and White Army throws in, finds McKeown, back for Hay. Here's a nip from under him, and another throw.
Hay bombing on frequently, but Gorry is a hard-working winger who always tracks back, and he's keeping him honest here. Hugheslet looking to get around Sison, who was there, and it'll spill behind for a goal kick. He's been really tight on him, which is something he's going to have to contend with playing that number 10 role today, a big Lukey Hugheslet. No. 33 minutes gone, KG 5, 1 versus 2, or I suppose 2 versus 3 with the live ladder, thanks to South Hobart's victory. It's a huge match up here. Who's going to blink first? In the air it goes. Barnard was there. It might spill in favour of the Zebras. Play on, says the referee. Here's Sherman, who's come to collect the ball and slides it through, but straight into the path of Zupo, who immediately looks for the outlet in Dennehy, but he'd been working back hard. He'd been tracking all the way back to cover what was looking a dangerous break for the Zebras. And that is one thing that the Devonport wingers do really well.
Tweet in Drewster from Paskey, listening in from home. He says Stone unmatched out there, I reckon. Looks to be doing it easy, and I don't disagree. I think he's been exceptional. And one thing that's maybe a knock on Stone is his work the other way, but I think he's run tenaciously both ways so far. And very good, just not the finished product. That's the only thing that's lacking so far. As it's Gian Sopoulos to collect. Really good contest. Good to have Paskey on board. He also mentioned that he thought the strikers were well and truly robbed of that penalty, and I don't disagree on review. What are your thoughts,
Yeah,
Drewster?
I thought it was a penalty. Live action, it was tough. Of course, I wasn't sure if Wright had deliberately moved off his line. I must admit, I do have a bit of a pole in my way, that one, which did obstruct a little bit. But in live action, it looked like maybe it was just a collision that happened through no fault of his. But the replay shows he clearly took a step into the path of man, infringed him, and that has to be a penalty. Anyway, a chance for them to get their goal here as Mulroney whacks it towards the back post. Looming large was Barnard. Oh, silky touch from Mann. Deflected again off Barnard, and it'll fall away of Hay. And they're probing and testing here. The strikers. And the Zebras' defence has been pretty good so far. Fag and Harrison haven't done a lot wrong. They've been pretty resilient in the heart of defence, and they've had to be. Yes, they've had some good quality moments, but seems to be a bit more incisiveness about Devonport when they move forward. Knotted down by Mulroney. Here's Joel Stone. He's surrounded by a striped shirt, so goes back to Mulroney. Looks to knock it over the top for Gorry. It was too narrow though. Sison wins it back again, then flicks it immediately over the top. He's very good at that, winning the ball and then releasing immediately to someone in wide areas. A real feature of Daniel Sison's game. He's been one of the big improvers in this Devonport team. He's been such an important part of how they've gone this year.
100% agree, Drewster. The throw in now from Mulroney at the edge of the box. Barnard will meet it. He finds Stone with some razzle-dazzle. He looks to beat one. Unfortunately, slips as he looks to walk it past Jaden Hay. In the end, Jaden Hay works it nicely down the line for a zebra ball. A big game for Devonport today with a table-topping contest, but also next week we've got the Lacasille Jet Cup, a massive game on Queen's Birthday Monday. Really looking forward to seeing what they bring. And then the week after that, they play South Hobart again in the league. So a big couple of weeks for the Devonport Strikers. It all starts here, and so far they've been up in it up to their eyeballs in this contest as Tokyo does well. Gains it off Dennehy and then beats him, and then it's come from the right wing, falls for Hoogsley, fashions a shot. It's a scuffed effort as it catches a piece of Zupo on the way, and Gian Sopoulos has no issues
How's the
collecting
first
that
touch
one.
from Hugheslet there though? Silky has just come in and he's just put it into his own path and set it up. They had numbers back so they could block the shot, but that was a delightful first touch from Hugheslet, really showing what he can do there.
Another cheeky tweet in from Patsky asking who we think have been the pick of the players so far.
Well, I think Tyler Harrison has been outstanding at the back for the Zebras. I think Sison has been great in midfield for Devonport. And I've enjoyed Brodie Dennehy's work. That'd probably be my top 3 at this stage. There's Gorry now looking to get released over the top, but Fag, who's also got to be in that conversation, was there to knock it away from him.
This is, I said it before, but this is such a Henry Fag game. Like the scrap, he just loves the tough stuff. And so far he's been exceptional. I think you missed out Joel Stone in that conversation there, Drewster. His bright moments have been particularly bright. I think Adam Gorry's had flashes as well. I think a lot of the strikers have had moments.
Sherman, good up top.
There's not too many passengers out there for either side. It's a really good tussle with 2 top teams, really.
Yeah, it's what you'd expect in a match-up of this quality with the amount of good players out there. You'll notice that when they're getting in attacking thirds, there's a lot less time on the ball than they might see normally. There's a turnover here. Sherman's lost it. Barnard wins it back and he sets Braden Mann away. Gorry's bursting to the right and he lays it into his path beautifully. Returns it to him, but Harrison was there, not away. Joel Stone collects on the edge of the area. He's shot almost into a perfect pass from Mann. He made pretty poor contact. It's thwacked away there by right. Sherman comes to collect. His touch was a little heavy. Zupo was brought in by it, but he fought on well, did Sherman. He won it and then fed Hughes-Sloot. Galloping forward, the long legs of Hughes-Sloot was surely fouled, but the referee says play on advantage. Walsh storming into the box, but he can't get round young Dom Smith, who was there to put it behind for a corner.
Some contention about it, but it will be a corner, and the big bodies pile back from the strikers. Yeah, I think a lot of quality players out there on show today. James Sherman, for me, he's been the pick of the Zebras. No, you mentioned a couple at the back. I think Fag and Harrison have both been good, but Sherman been superb in that number 9 role as it comes along from Sherman, met with the head of Adam Gorry and out for a deep throw in. It'll be Jaden Hay who'll bring it in. Jaden Hay along and into the box. It's one from Fag. Seeing at the edge of the box as McKeown sits for Muller. He tries to fashion a shot. It's all in a sea of legs of both black and white and yellow. Comes back in for a long Toghill ball. It's one in the air by McKeown, and
that was well over the line.
It was Gian Sopoulos who lunged and caught it. He's caught that one while it was in and taken it out.
In American football, it's a touchdown, but he's carried that.
I would have thought that was a corner myself.
I would have thought so.
I think they've got away with one there, but not a massive one. I mean, at the other end, they were robbed of a penalty, depending on who you talk to.
That's a fair point.
If you talk to Callum Paskey, he's very strong on it. As it comes along from Gian Sopoulos to the feet of Mulroney, who spins and sprays straight out of play. Jaden Hay to bring it in. Down the line, it's Zupa Duper and Mulroney. Mulroney has it in the end. Stone misses this pass. And Barnard into Long Lee. And I think Barnard a bit unlucky there. He's come in strong. And to be fair to him, Long Lee's just not a big fella.
It's just a giant up against the smaller individual.
I reckon he's a bit stiff to see yellow there, because Long Lee's just not a big fella. I mean, it's a meaty challenge. They come in, they meet it. He's got him. Is it a yellow? I mean, it's a foul.
It's clear foul. I suppose the argument there is he hasn't really jumped and headed the ball. He's just clattered straight into him. So, you know, it can be given as a yellow. Certainly accentuated by the fact of the size.
Yeah,
this one's crossed in the direction of Hughes-Sloot. Did really well to win that one in the air, Hughes-Sloot. Knotted it down. Walsh now is harassed by Dennehy, who's all over him, but he fights on, and eventually well blocked off there by Dennehy, just working back hard in defence. For a team that don't make subs, they've got a front 3 that are just tireless in their work rate. It's incredible if these guys run out the 90 minutes. There's Sherman turning with the ball. Then quickly away by Zupo. That was looking dangerous. And eventually they'll whack at the length of the field to Braden Mann. Flicks on for himself. He looked to get him behind Harrison, but he should comfortably deal with this.
That's one thing we've seen from the strikers. They're fit, Drew. So Peter Sal's really put the work into them. A strong pre-season. I know they started last November, which is particularly early for the boys from the Northwest Coast. So they're very, very fit, and they run all day. It's this frenetic pressing that you talk about. that makes them a hard team to tussle with as it comes down the line. Picks out Jaden Hay. Just puts it inside for Muller. Muller tries to thread the needle for Hay again. Gorry wins it. Looks to get by McKeown. Intervention from him, but Barnard there on hand to put it back to his defence. And yet again, Mulroney a little bit wasteful out of defence. Sprays this one straight out of play on the shadows of half-time with 44 minutes now. As I see in the top left corner, Drewster, the Mortons have arrived to watch this one. Of course, just rounded out, what was it, a 5-1? 8-1 in the end. Jeez, that blew out. An 8-1 win at Darcy Street, so that's comfortable for the title challenging South Open. They just continue to strengthen that ridiculous goal difference.
18-1 on aggregate over Lonnie City for the year. They're certainly vanquishing that supposed bogey team. That is decisive, and they were missing a few players today as well, which really sends a message. And as we mentioned, they are top of the league at the moment, pending this result. The live ladder, with these two sharing a point as it would be, we'll see them stay there at the end of the round. Can either side nab a goal and stop that shim, and comes deep and knocks it into the path of Longley. Longley ignores Sherman and just goes back to Fag instead. Devonport content to sit deep. Hayes taken off on another run. He's been doing that a lot, and he cuts inside now. Got a couple of options to cross for. One of them is Walsh up against Smith. His header went off Smith, did it? It did, and it'll be a corner. Wasn't the best contact from the header, so he's probably done well to get a corner out of it.
I think what we're saying right there near the corner is a magnificent mullet. We talked about a mullet a few weeks ago. Look at that on the assistant. As Sherman brings it in. Oh, Dennehy slips as he looks to deal with it. Man on hand to help him out. And it's away and picked up nicely.
All the shirts were back in the box then, Gilly.
They were indeed, as Toghill's long ball comes in. Scurrying is Giansopoulos. Sherman in awfully late. Maybe lucky to escape that one without any talking to as it comes down the line. Stone, can he pick it up? Just nips a bit at Tyler Harrison on the way. But I think he was offside. It'll be a zebra ball. We might have to look at that assistant referee's mullet at some point. It might be the half-time break, because as he walks off, because that is an impressive piece of hair, dude. It's played from right to Hay. Long and straight. McKeown tries to chase it down. Can't beat Giansopoulos to it. A long powering effort. Picks out the opposing defence, and it's Harrison and Fag, who have both been superb. Chris Hay barks some very pointed directions. This one's wrestled off him by Stone, who, as I said before, probably the knock on him is his defensive work, but it's certainly improved this season. Right, well from home. Looks to play it forward, and that's half-time here at KG5. It's a 0-0. It's a stalemate so far between two title challengers, the ladder leading Strikers and Hobart Jeep Zebras. As we see we might just get a close-up on that mullet, just as a bit of a look at that piece of work. You don't see mullets like that every day, Drewster. That's a real half-time treat as we just wander off. We haven't seen a goal, but that is beyond a highlight. Brilliant work from the assistant. And the two teams will go into their huddles, maybe both a little frustrated, I think, Drewster. But both well and truly in this contest as we sit, level pegging on 0 apiece. It's anyone's game.
Yeah, look, I think it's played out largely as expected. Both teams were always going to be hard to break down. Devonport, a very tough team to break, and they're always going to pose problems with their speed and those quick counter-attacks. It's been a really entertaining affair. I suppose if you want 45 minutes to prove that you don't need goals for an entertaining game of football, that's it. This has been really intriguing. Lots of mini battles going on out there, and it just seems like it's going to be one of those games and just one moment of magic from someone out there might just be the difference. We'll have a look at the highlights here, and certainly Devonport may well feel slightly aggrieved to not go in 1-up. They had a pretty good shout for a penalty. There's some lovely defence there from Fag. He's been just perfect at the back so far. This was the moment, hustling and bustling He didn't call the initial foul, and then Wright just steps into his path. And a fair old shout, I'd have thought there, Braden Mann. No, says the referee. I reckon it either had to be an initial foul against Mann or a penalty. In the end, they went for a goal kick.
And here was the absolute horror from Graham Wright. Barnard was on hand.
Probably had more time than he thought.
He got it. Yeah, he got a shot on goal, but it probably didn't have the ferociousness that was needed to cross the line. As we see another mad panic at the back. This time it was the strikers. Joel Stone involved in a lot of these. Lung Lee on hand to see it wide of Dennehy here. Dennehy, that was a really good chance. The ball coming in from the right flank. Dennehy got a nice connection, but just fired wide to the right. Gorry, another one. Ping-ponged around, but the Zebras managed to see clear. And what I'm seeing from these highlights, Drewster, is both teams have had moments, but the strikers have certainly had the better of them. We see a Lung Lee's missile from range. We might just have a breather now, Drewster, and be back just before the second stanza and talk through what should be a massive second half here at KG5. Do stay with us. 0-0. Hobart Jeep Zebras, Devonport Strikers. So back with the second half not too far away. So far it's been a real arm wrestle. 0-0 between the Hobart Jeep Zebras and the travelling Devonport Strikers. Plenty on the line as we hear the whistle from the referee, so not too far away from resumption here at all. Drewster, take us through, I guess, your big winners from the opening stanza.
Oh, big winners is tough at 0-0. I think the happier of the two teams would be Devonport. Obviously, they're the roadside, and I think they've probably shaded the contest so far, so they'd be the happier of the two camps. I think it's a game that really could go either way. It's not going to be a shock to see it end as a 1-0. I don't think there's much chance it really opens up in the second half and becomes an end-to-end type affair. Neither side really looks to play that way. They'll be happy to keep it as a fairly compact, tight grind, I suppose. Devonport, yeah, look, they don't have a lot on the bench, so I think we can expect the same setup that they've rolled with in the first half, and they'll hope to hang in there, knock those long diagonals, hit them with the quick front three they've got, and then once they've kind of got it in the box, you've got the likes of Joel Stone crashing in there, and not too much more is going to join in support. Smith and Mulroney aren't really fullbacks who are going to bomb on, so a lot is going to be up to those midfielders to support the attack. As the Zebras, we've seen the opposite on the left-hand side. Jaden Hay has been bombing on every chance he gets. They'll look to peg them back deep. They've got some options on the bench if they want to change things. Hugh Undy and Stevens both sitting on the pine, or as hinted by Chris Aid, his media comments that he might give both of them a run. So it'll be interesting to see if a change is made there. Look, I think it's a real arm wrestle of a contest. Both sides wouldn't be too upset with how it's played out. It's just going to be who can be clinical, who can take the chance. And really, one moment of magic might well be enough to steal it.
It might be. I think we've got a bit of a still frame here. Hopefully we've got live images coming at you very, very shortly. As Zebras march out onto the pitch. A big second half for the hosts. We're just having slight issues, it appears. We'll have live action back for you, don't worry about that. You'll hear our voice if nothing else. It shouldn't be too long at all, just a slight camera difficulty. So Devonport Strikers on the road. We saw this against South Hobart, Drewster. They did a job for 45 minutes. They just hang in the contest, make it go deep, and then snatch that late one. Do you think it's a possibility today?
Absolutely. I think they're a very fit side. They'll run it out well. They'll continue to sit back. The defence is more than good enough to hold out. They were troubled, perhaps surprisingly, a couple of times in the air by the likes of Hughes, Sloot and Sherman. You wouldn't have thought the aerial ball was really the way you look to attack such an imposing back four, but they did have a couple of moments of joy, whipping crosses in from wide areas. Sherman's done some good work holding up the ball, and it's going to be really interesting to see if they change their approach tactically. Looks like they're lining up the same way. Hughes Sloot just starting in behind Sherman there. So no obvious changes for either side yet. Yeah. But really looking forward to this one. Play about to resume. As we apologise for the camera issues here at the moment, so we'll just talk you through it. As Mann chips it forward. Jaden Hay was there. He chipped it straight to him at left back, and he plays it down the line to McKeown, hugging tight to the touchline, pressing up on him there was Mulroney. A lob ball forward, might spill for Dwayne Walsh, but Dom Smith cut inside, and now it's flicked on beautifully by Mann.DEV, bursting back the other way. He's one-on-one with Tyler Harrison, who came up huge and stopped him in a one-on-one. That was looking really dangerous. Dennehy bursting into the area. Tyler Harrison again. The ball's crossed to the back post now. Right punches. Oh, only as far as Gorry. It spilled off his leg, and Gorry will now lay it all the way back here. Whipped in again by Mulroney to the edge of the box where Tolkien was, and he thumped it forward to Sherman. He's around the bullseye. He hustles and holds off the attentions of Grattan, wins it back. Now Walsh to the right wing as play. He's picked up again by our cameras. We apologise for that. And we're back with action here, and that man, Tyler Harrison, will be on the ball. He's saved his team there, hasn't he, Gilly?
Absolutely. It was looking very menacing, and we again see the threat of Brody Dennehy on the fast break. He's got a bit of pace about him, and just seems to make the right run at the right time. Does Brody Dennehy to trouble with defences as Stone picks this one up now. Razzle Dazzle coming, no doubt. Keeps running down the left flank. And there was very little contact, I thought, but enough for Stuart Reid to blow a foul. So it'll be a free kick for the Strikers from the left flank. Joel Stone lofts it in. It's a nice curling effort. Heads under it as Hoogsludu wins out, and he'll pick up his ball. Play it down the left. Trickles away. Unfortunately, beats Sherman. And it's out of play for a throw in. So Mulroney down for Sison. Squeezes out a pass. It's with Fag. He plays along. One off the chest of Grattan. It's a big barrel chest and he rings it down. He turns and burns. Does Stone looks to receive a return ball. Can't as Dennehy receives his own return ball. Drops it off for Sison. It's a shanked effort. And Hay will look to use his pace now. Here he goes on a burst. He's just pulled up a little bit there and he's put it straight into the path of the Strikers. And they might just look to do the same the other way. Zupo, long diagonal, picks out Stone. Stone beats one in Walsh. Can't beat Toggiel, or yes he does. He wins it back. Stone got it on a string at the minute. Lays it back for Dennehy, who tries an ambitious cross or shot. And it's easily collected on the chest of right.
Real moment of threat back the other way there through Jaden Hay. You see what he can do from fullback. He burst through the middle from end to end, tore them apart. Unfortunately, his through ball to Sherman was no good. I think Sherman might have strayed offside, so it might have been all for nothing. But that was a real good moment from Hay, showing what he can do. Toggiel lays it back there. Harrison across to Graham Wright. Wright plays it to Henry Fagg, who carries it forward. The pass to McKeown, who's found a little pocket of space there around midfield. They'll patiently build and change the angle of attack, although it's spilled over the line, so that's really sloppy there from Zebras. Just an unforced error, no one around. You don't want to be doing that and giving the ball back to Devonport in these areas, just gifting it to him. Here's Adam Gorry, who'll look to turn Hay, who was tight on him and did well to Jaden Hay. He'll watch this one roll over the line instead. A fascinating battle, that one. Some serious wheels on both of them, and both have been flying up and down the flank both ways all evening here. Here's big Zupa Joey Zupo, the Canadian, back to his compatriot in goals. Nicholas Giansopoulos, who's having some sort of season. He's kept 6 clean sheets. His defence certainly playing a big role in that. One of those members of the back four. Mulroney clatters in with Hughes-Lute there. Now Lung Lee in midfield, need it into the path of Braden Mann, who slides it through for Dennehy. Dennehy cutting inside and driving a shot straight at Graham Wright. He found a pocket of space. He's been doing it all game, Brody Dennehy. And that was again an incisive break from him. He and Mann combining so well. And just in the blink of an eye, they can forge an attacking opportunity with that pace.
Sherman looks to turn with it now, breaks away, puts it out in front of McKeown at the edge of the box, puts it to the back stick, and it's Hoogslude, I think, who's gone down.
Clipped on the ankle off the ball. Obviously clipped too.
I don't think our camera caught that. I think it was just coming into frame. It was Sison who was there with him, and Hoogslude was just clipped, went down, and a very fair penalty shout, maybe perhaps a square up. And Zupa just clears. At halfway, it's met by Toghill. Flicked on for Walsh. Back for Toghill. Doesn't attack too much, Toghill. Finds a bit of space and finds McKeown. Gets by one. Giansopoulos out. But he doesn't need to collect as Mulroney picks it up. Very panicky at the back the last couple of minutes. The Strikers. Hay ahead of Gorry. Back for Harrison. It's a really strong back four this for the Zebras. And so too for the Strikers, which is why we're at the moment sitting 0-0. Play forward, Grattan picks this one up easily, tries to measure a pass, just gets through the outstretched leg of Muller. Won by Dennehy. His ball's not a good one. It's picked up from Hay. Hay forward for McKeown. McKeown a long way from the goal. Takes a couple of touches and then puts it back for Hay, who's kept on running. A ball into the front post, and it's only G Unstopless who collects. Throws out a swift throw. Gorry inside, finds Stone. Ever creative Stone. Looking for Dennehy, who's been the danger man, has got to be said. Stone meets it in the air, a real scissor kick. Brings it down, and it's Dennehy with a lunging effort, wins it well. Dom Smith just nudges it forward and gives it straight back to the Zebras. Maybe perhaps a bit wasteful there, Dom Smith. Good ball out of defence, picks out McKeown. He's got Mulroney for company. He'll look to beat him on the outside. Puts it in the front post again. G Unstopless first to it. So Zebras with a very fair penalty shout. One for both teams now as Mann wins this one well. Finds Dennehy. Mann looks to cut back inside. Plays in for Barnard, who can only get ahead to it. And it's wide, but geez, it was nice movement from the strikers and a very promising play.
Superb from Braden Mann. Played the perfect pass almost into the on-rushing Barnard, who'd made the bursting run from the middle. Again, Dennehy and Mann linking up there. Again, the pace causing issues. It was so close, just didn't quite have the contact. And really interesting game developing. Both teams happy to try and play direct and with pace on the break, but neither side really committing the defenders forward to leave those holes in behind. And it's the game being controlled by the defences at the moment. McKeown lays it back to Fag. He lumbers forward. Sherman there. Tight on him is Grattan. He did well, did Sherman, and got it to Muller. Plays it to the overlapping Toggill, who made a good run. Dennehy tracking him back, but Toggill gets some space to cross. Didn't have the quality on it though. Sherman, who'd been involved earlier, couldn't get into an attacking position. That's a beautiful hit into the path. Stone nods it into his own path. Stone racing into the box. Tight on him is Walsh, turning on a dime. Stops the ball. Can he cross and pick out a target? He found only Muller. He only really had one to pick out. There were plenty of stripy shirts back. They blocked it well. And a dangerous moment is again shut down by a very well organised defence from the Zebras. Not far away from unlocking him there was Joel Stone, and the delivery from G Unstopless.
Jeez, it was good, wasn't it, Drewster?
Crisp. Just one quick pass forward, and they're on the attack, and Huxley wins the ball back for his side. Can't get around Syson though, who's shackled him pretty well today, Syson.
Gorry will have to thank Syson. Absolutely huge let off for him there.
Dennehy just one way then the other, gets to the byline and crosses. And dealing with that again is Tyler Harrison. He has been outstanding at the back so far, Tyler Harrison. Here's Dom Smith, turns, got kicked by Walsh there, just a little bit overzealous, and then a little bit of push and shove between the two. The angry customers there. I think it was certainly an initial foul by Walsh, and not a lot of love lost there between them. Just gave him a shove back, did Smith, and Walsh didn't like that.
Braden Mann just had a chat to Dom Smith after that. Good leadership, I think, from Mann to go over and just say, look, mate, just keep your cool. Shaking the hands of the two players. Very civil stuff.
Yeah, good to see.
I guess.
Well, they're going hard at the ball.
I don't mind the fire in the contest.
Yeah, they're going hard at the ball. They've been fire at the contest. Now afterwards, there's no grudges held.
Yeah, that's true. As Stone's over it. Lofts the ball into the box. A crowd of box players everywhere. It sits for Denny. He nudges a header. It's still there. Oh, it's Barnard who drives a little bit of one out the back. A little boot scooting baby out the back. Was never going to happen, I don't think. We'll see this again. Punched out from right. Dennehy brings it back into the mess that was the box. And we just missed the little boot scooter from
Just a bit
Barnard. It was really interesting, but to be fair, I'm not sure how he was meant to get a shot on goal from his situation.
Probably shouldn't have taken the shot, is probably what his coach would say. Maybe the Kings' fine effort with that chip has just up the audacity meter of the Devonport Strikers players.
Well, he just clean missed it, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, he didn't make much. He made a little bit of contact, but it was well wide of the net.
As Grattan sends one into Grove Road with a long cannoning kick from out of defence. We tick further on in this game and still a goal eludes us. Toghill for Muller. back from Toghill, and it's to Stone, the former Zebra, of course, for 2 minutes. He wasn't here too long. As it comes down the line, bounces away. Fag will pick it up. Lays off. It'll be right all over it like a cheap suit. The big Scott, long and strong, off the head of Sherman. Nobody there to pick it up. A rare error from Zupo. It might be a costly one. Through the legs of Giansopoulos. McKeown scores! 1-0 to the hosts.
The old cork in the ocean, McKeown does it again. He bobs up. A rare error from Joey Zupo. A howler from him at the back. He's just let it go straight between his legs. You just don't see that from him. And then McKeown goes 5-0. Puts it between the legs of Giansopoulos, and the Zebras hit them back the other way, and they move back to the top of the table on the live ladder. Oh, just made to pay. Sunday just has a habit of doing that. He bobs up, he scores goals, but one to forget there for big Joey Zupo.
Joe Zupo been so superb this season, but that was a horror at the back. You could have given me 100 guesses how the first goal was going to come, and I wouldn't have guessed that. He's been just so solid so far this year, and now Devonport have to chase the game, and that's what Joel Stone does. Straight away, burst from the kickoff. What a run, Joel Stone! Into the box, it's just tracked down. What a run from the electric Joel Stone. What a player he is. Look at this. Oh, great tackle, timely intervention.
Action. It's been hooked to the back post and cleared out of play. It was taken quickly. Mann hooked it there in the direction of Barnard, put behind for a corner. Still marvelling at Joel Stone's work. Just sauntered through past several of them. Real inventive work from Mann to get the cross away. Barnard was there and wisely put behind in the end by Jaden Hay, but a chance for him to hit back, and this is really what Devonport would have wanted. They've conceded, but they've immediately put the pressure back on the Zebras. It's been a good response. Can they test them here from the corner? They've got plenty of tall timber to pick out. They're going to whip one in here. He curls to the middle, and it's headed away by Muller. McKeown out to this, but it's going to be played back in, driven near post, flicked on. Oh, God! Don't know who's got the last touch. I don't think I did. Mann's claiming it. They're all out after him. It's 1-0. The immediate response from the Zebras. I don't know if anyone did touch
Mann's claimed it, and he, let's be honest,
the first time he's claimed
he claims anything.
Let's have a look. Mann curls this one in through a sea of legs. It's an own goal, I reckon.
I reckon it's on target. I reckon he'll claim that. I reckon they'll go in the book as Mann's.
Right,
he's definitely scored a lot better goals than that in his lifetime, but 1-0 here, and just like that, this game has sprung to life, and it's seen immediate reaction. Lung Lee to depart, and on comes Hugh Undy, the new recruit for a new recruit.
Yeah, change of midfield, but what a response from the Devonport strikers. That's a real hallmark of a champion team, that you go one down, to respond like that immediately is superb, and Savills men hit back immediately, and straight away we're back on terms. So Braden Mann's claimed it. He claimed one against Olympia earlier this year and got it in the book for a blatant own goal to Drake, but he celebrated it, so he got it, and he might have pulled the same trick again here. Well done to him. As he closes the gap in the golden boot race, as Braden Mann. We'll give it to him.
Drew, the goal will go against Braden Mann, but I've got to give a lot of credit to Joel Stone for that run just straight off the bat. That pressure straight back on the Zebras when they thought maybe they could relax a little after a goal. He just brought it straight to them, and I think that indirectly set up that goal. As Stone goes long, this ambitious run from Gorry. He was pretty much in the next street. As it's picked up by Toghill in midfield. Undy with an early involvement. Looks a hole back. Stone can't. Who finds Gorry. Blasts the ball into the box, and Graham Wright comes out to collect. Immediately throws. The goal scorer McKeown gets by Mulroney. McKeown now full of confidence after that goal. Just drops it off to no one in particular. And Mulroney should be able to deal with this one comfortably. Blast forward. Probably doesn't do enough with it really, Mulroney, but in the end Gorry in there to hustle and bustle with Undy. Undy gets a piece of Barnard, and it'll be a free kick for the Devonport strikers. 1-0 here in a blink of an eye, Drewster. 0-0, and then all of a sudden 1-0. It's been a great game.
Yeah, it really has. Immediate response, and we're back where we've been for most of the game. Sides neck and neck. Flicked on by Dinahy. He's going to have to chase his own ball, and he won't get there. Zebras, they'll be so disappointed. They say you're most vulnerable just after you score. I always thought that was a bit of a dumb cliche, but it's proved to be quite true here. And what will the last half an hour have in store for us? They're sitting, they were sitting on top of the table for all of a minute there, the Zebras. But South Hobart back on top for now. Here is Muller, comes through traffic and wins the header. Flicked on dangerously, really, by Grattan. Almost favoured Sherman. It's hacked out of there in the end, and Gorry and McKeown will give chase. Gorry got there first, and did he work it off McKeown? No, he had the last touch and a throw in for the Zebras. Jaden Hay to take. Just always hold off, assess his options. Eventually goes to Sunday, who immediately returns it to him. Now they punt it forward, well read by Zupo. He'll be a very relieved man. As Mann wins the header, had no one in support though, and thwacked out of there by the outstanding Tyler Harrison. Giving chase was Walsh. He was never likely to get there. Smith will see that out. Smith's shaded that matchup so far today. He's had the better of Walsh. An interesting duel down that flank. Young Smith, very impressive fullback. Flicked on for Braden Mann in the middle of the park. He might just whack it over the top for Gorry. Put it into his path, but Jaden Hay sticking pretty tight to him. Now he'll look up and try and beat him. Can he get him behind? Hay sticking tight to him, did well. Towards the back post where Harrison nods it away from the lurking Braden Mann. Real good matchup, that Gorry and Hay duel. They've both got some serious wheels. And Gorry not quite being able to get him behind as he usually would with that searing pace of his, because Jaden Hay able to match it with him. Here's Joel Stone. A number of times he's broken the game open tonight. That's out for a throw in. 63 minutes have ticked by here at KG5. One apiece. The Zebras lead lasting all of 2 minutes. Smith with the throw in again to Stone. Looks to turn. It's ill-advised trying to go flat down there though. Well read by Grattan, got in ahead of Sherman, but he gave it straight to Hughes. Ludas continued his run. Sherman needs a moment to bring it under his spell. And so to Walsh, and the Zebras will just patiently pass it around. Devonport so quickly back into position there. As soon as they sensed that it was turned over, they raced back. Such a hard-working team. The Zebras have done well just to think their way through this though. They've kept a hold of the ball nicely. Patient build-up. String together some passes. They drop it off short. This is looking good. Muller now. They've stretched them. This is lovely build-up. What's the end product like? It's in towards the substitute Andy, I think, and he puts it over the top. It was a lovely flowing attacking move. One of their best moves of the game, that, the Zebras. They really controlled the ball, dissected them, and in the end, Undy just over the top.
Saw quite a few goals from Undy in red and blue last season. Of course, moved over to Queensland for a little bit, played NPL over there, and back in black and white. Decent effort off his boot as it comes along for Giansopoulos. There's a shove in the back. It appeared Mulroney right in the back of Hoogsley, but play went on and out it went. It's a Zebra throw now. Long down the line. It's picked up by Sherman and cut off long. It comes again, this time for the strikers. Mann wrestling with Fag. Fag takes a piece of him. Play goes on though from Harrison. Picks out Hoogsley. Great control. Brings it down to McKeown on the outside of Mulroney, and it'll be a foul against Mulroney. He did impede McKeown. Looked to just grab at McKeown as he looked to go by. Yeah, there it is. So it was a foul. Correctly advantage originally played, but brought back as there was none. So James Sherman will have his name all over this one. Jaden Hay not bad from a set piece either. And James Sherman all over this. We've seen him score and threaten from these type of opportunities so far this season. James Sherman into the box, headed away by Mulroney. He's first to it and gave away the foul and does well to cut off the set piece. It's a cold old day here at KG5, but a red hot contest. Sherman from the left, lofts it in. over everyone's head, and it sits for Hay, and he tries an ambitious shot off the right peg, and it's well wide. So Giansopoulos to bring it back in, the big Canadian goalkeeper. Be disappointed this one's not a clean sheet. He'll probably have his fellow countrymen to thank for that. A moment Joe Zuppo would like to forget, but luckily for the Strikers, they've clutched one back, and it's 1-1. Along it comes from Giansopoulos. It's won by Hoogsloot in the air, and then it trickles out of play, so it'll be a Strikers throw.
Real chill factor growing to this one out at KG5. On a cold evening, very clear though. And I'm pretty sure the players will be pretty warm because they've been covering some serious turf as it's laid back to Tyler Harrison. He plays it short for Undy, releases it early, but it's cut out there. And now Barnard in midfield plays it to Syson. Lovely ball forward, man, stretching, couldn't quite get there, and it'll come back the other way. Muller in towards Sherman. A lunging challenge from Grattan was perfectly timed, and on his heels, unfortunately, it was Dennehy, so it'll be leading back in the race. Mann chests it down. He's got the switch on if he'd like it. Plays it short to Barnard. Needed to just get it out to the right-hand flank earlier. In the end, he was fouled, but for once the quick release wasn't played by the Strikers, and out on the right-hand wing, they might have had a bit of an advantage there. Syson will defer this one to big Joey Zuppo. Can he atone for a rare mistake from him earlier? He sends it into a dangerous area, but right, this time confidently collects. A little bit suspect under the aerial ball tonight, Graham, right? Unlike his normal self. So not the worst idea to try and whip those free kicks in close to the 6-yard box. Here's Jaden Hay. Now Hughes-Loot turning on it. His pass set a task for McKeown. Looked to skip around one, breaking that up well though was Zuppo. Hay again, wide on the left, looks to get up and have a run, working back hard is Gorry. Tireless, the winger. Just really hassling him and forces an errant pass in the end, which sets a task for Muller. He had to retreat back to Harrison. And they've forced the turnover here, have they? Syson, oh, he was expecting an option that wasn't there. Oh, brilliantly won by Grattan. He's been great. A pillar in the heart of defence. Here's Mann, who looks up and has a run. Sliding in rashly was Undy. Mann kept going. Can he slide it through? He's hacked down by Hughes-Loot, who won the ball. Well done, Hughes-Loot. Now Syson shapes it out wide on the right. This is looking dangerous. It's Miles Barnard. Lovely cross just over the head of Mann. Mann ups and scores! Quick instincts for Braden Mann. He has a brace. He has 100 goals in Victory League and NPL football, and he's given Devonport the lead.
Superb, and just trademark Braden Mann. Just finds a way to score. He scores the good goals, he scores the crap goals, he scores goals for fun. Look at this. Tyler Harrison had a decent afternoon, but that's a moment to forget from him. Just nudged it to the back stick. Braden Mann, the first to react and put it home. And just like that, the Strikers have a lead and go back to the top of the table as it stands, Drewster. But we saw just before, Zebras are at the top of the table for all of a minute. So this game has twists and turns. I'm not sure it's over just yet. But Strikers on top here at KG5 as the Zebras restart. Undy switches wide and finds Toghill, who gives it up to Grattan. His ball's not a bad one. Picks out Gorry, brings it down, nips it inside of Toghill, and he's collected. This will be a set piece for the Strikers. They'll look to pile on another one and put this one to bed.
Yeah, they'll try and take the pace out of it. As I mentioned, that is the 100th goal for Braden Mann at this level. He has dominated this level of football year after year. He's 14th of the season. He was sitting on 86 of 61 games heading into the year, a remarkable record. And he's now brought up the 100 in a shade over 70 games. Here's Joel Stone. That's a dangerous ball. Getting his head on it there was Barnard. Couldn't make anything of it. And back the other way, they're breaking dangerously. Here's McKeown, who's got quite a bit of space. He did handle it though. Good spot by the referee, and it's killed that counter-attack. They're looking dangerous, and surprised Devonport had so many players pushed on, given they've got this lead with 20 to play. I'd have thought they might go into protect mode here.
I don't think so, Drewster. Just the way they are, the set pieces, they pile those big boys forward. They want to put this one to bed. It's come long and diagonal from Zupo. Decent service, but it's cut off from Toghill ahead of Stone, who I think's been terrific this afternoon. Gorry in for Dennehy, squeezed out, and it's with Stone again. Muller wins it back, and it'll be a Zebra's throw. See Paul Stevens in the frame there, maybe another substitution for Zebras, although a defensive player, and I'm not sure that'd be the change they'll make as it comes long down the line, and it's handled by Sherman. The ball got away from him regardless. And it'll be a striker's ball. They can breathe a sigh of relief as we tick into the 72nd minute, almost 73rd here, Drewster.
Fall back from a goal down, the Strikers. Really impressive stuff from them. The third goal would surely kill it. Nodded on by Braden Mann. I'm not sure about the first one. He claimed it, and I'm pretty sure he's going to get it. So he's got himself a brace, and the Strikers might have themselves 3 valuable points to stay top of the league. They've got a massive, massive run of games. This one, the Lacquer Cup final next Monday, and South Hobart again in the league. And they'll be delighted if they can tick game 1 off with a victory here tonight. They've got 18 minutes plus stoppage time to hold on. Stone couldn't keep that one in play and just knocks it away. And he's going to get a slice of cheese, is he? Oh dear. He was on 4 yellows, was he, Gilly? Or 3? I was going to say, if you miss the cup final next week due to that, you'd be kicking yourself. He's on 4 now. So just got to be a bit careful with stuff like that. I mean, what are you going to gain? 5 seconds maybe? I'm not sure it's worth it. And a bit unnecessary from Stone.
That was
they're good yellow cards to get, and they're bad ones. That is a bad one.
That's a shocker. It has him on a knife's edge. Also in this game, you know, it's a frenetic game. You'd hate to see him sent off and then miss the HJZ Cup final. So a silly one from Stone. It comes down the left-hand side, picked up from Hay. It was nicely done. Really good first touch. He puts inside looking for Undy. Slid away from him and back now. Muller and Hay. Hay on the ball. Smothered by Mulroney and out of play for another throw. Throw comes in. It's won by Zupo. They race out, and it's Muller and Gorry. It was Muller who won it, and
he's off it.
A second yellow and a red.
Now this is the cup final.
And the HJZ Cup gone for Joel Stone.
Oh, that's a massive
That is
blow.
a huge blow for Devonport and their season. He's had a brain snap inside 2 minutes. Braden Mann trying to have a chat to him. I'm not sure he's going to be able to talk him out of that one. Joel Stone will be a grumpy man, but he only has himself to blame for that yellow a little bit earlier, that he just simply didn't have to make that challenge. Joel Stone out of the cup final. A bitter blow for the Strikers, Drewster.
And a tough ask now to hold on for 15 minutes with 10 men. That is just so costly. What a moment. Seasons can turn on moments such as these. I don't know if that's a yellow, but that's very soft for me. That's not a yellow, that's harsh, but he left himself open to it with a silly one beforehand. But
that's the issue, you're walking the tightrope when you put one in, and now so too at Devonport in this game, because it's from Harrison, and it's lost, and it's with Mann. He looks to race away. He puts it out in front of Denny and calls for him to run. Unfortunately, he's in a foot race with someone who's lightning quick, and it's Jaden Hay, and he meets it.
It's the advantage of Jaden Hay at the back. He covers those ones. Another defender might not have. This one's lofted forward. Zupo will leave this for his keeper. And I suspect now the Strikers go into defensive mode and just knock it long to Mann and Denny over the top, and everyone else stays at home. Here's one making a bursting run for it. It's Mulroney, who's clipped Well, he says, slice of cheese here. No, we won't play. What's this referee? He reckons he was diving. I don't know about that. Seemed a pretty clear clip to me. Anyway, play on. The frenetic pace continues, and that one's called. So perhaps a bit of a leveller. So you have a look at.
Gotta be a leveller.
Unless it was.
No,
it's quite clearly clipped there. I mean, he exaggerated it for sure, and the referee clearly wasn't happy with that, but it's a foul.
Yeah, it's a foul indeed.
Crazy old end of this game. Will we see more twists?
I tell you what, Devonport would want to close out the 3 points, otherwise it becomes a really ordinary afternoon for them. With Joel Stone in the sheds and missing what is a crucial cup final. It comes long from Zupo into a box, flicked on from Barnard and wide to the left. Just got to be wary, more wary now. They're down to 10 men, Drewster. Yes, we see that from Barnard.
Not far away.
Not far away. There's a nice little finessed effort off the dome of Barnard. It's disappointing for Stone because he'd had such a good afternoon as well. Some electric moments from Harrison to Muller. Spins and plays in to Hay. Back for Undy and then back for Muller. They wrestle with him in there as McKeown, who comes out with it, somehow lays in. They spin and kick. It's Dennehy who looks to track it down. And it's a decisive foot from Barnard. Then from Sison. Squared from the centre out onto the left to Dennehy, who looks to switch it up. Superbly done. Picks out Mann. Mann just looks to play it down the right-hand flank. And Jaden Hay watches that one out. And it'll be a striker's ball. Despite Jaden Hay's best disguising there.
They'll just eat up the clock here. There'll be absolutely no rush whatsoever. So this throw in. He's just going to wait for Jaden to get the ball. 13 minutes to hold on here for the 10 men of Devonport. Can they do it? Can they maintain top spot? Joel Stone sent off for a second yellow card. It was soft. The first one was unnecessary. And will it be costly is the question. Mann did really well to keep that alive. Looked in across in the Dennehy direction, but it's eased out. It's going to come straight back in though. Mulroney, well, probably would have been better off just playing it first time rather than trying to sprint past Jaden Hay, who's always going to have him covered for leg speed. Perhaps tried to surprise him. In the end, they win the throw, the Zebras, and Graham Wright can look to get things moving. You'd expect the strikers to be pretty compact from here on out. Pressing hard is Sison. And they retreat back to Tyler Harrison. Now to Luke Hughesloot. He looks up. He'll run through the middle of KG5 and send it out wide. Looking to build here is Jaden Hay. Hughesloot again, increasingly dropping deep to receive. He looks up. He's got a wall of yellow in front of him. Plays it to Walsh. Laid back for Hay. They're patiently thinking their way through this. Now it's Fag on the left. They're really throwing men forward. It's a dangerous cross. It's headed away though. Only as far as Hughesloot did really well to jink it to himself and get round one. Now crosses dangerously for the back post. Not that dangerously. Well beyond any attacking options. I think this might be the pattern of what we see for the last 12 minutes. Devonport sitting back deep and the Zebras throwing everybody they've got at them. And they'll be very keen to take all the pace out of it. And a fairly frenetic affair in the second half. But I wouldn't expect that to be the order of the last 10 minutes of action. Giansopoulos is going to eat up every second he can on the goal kick. Eventually whacks it long in the direction of Mulroney. Nodded off Muller's head. Fighting hard was Hay, did really well. Sherman played it to him, then spun round.
Oh, man.
Undy couldn't get round Mann, who was working back hard. Numbers winning out here for the Banana Slugs, but the tackle went straight to Sherman, who shapes the shoot from range. Was blocked by his own man. Not that it was really going to trouble the keeper anyway. Brilliant sliding tackle by Hughesloot, and then Zupo read that well and got in ahead. As I think we're going to see Stevens introduced for the Zebras.
Paul Stevens to come on. Looks like Hughesloot will depart. So they'll put Paul Stevens into midfield. He's a Silky customer, usually more of a defensive option. That might see them move Undy into more of an attacking role. So Hughesloot comes off. Perhaps spent his petrol tickets. He looks pretty stuffed as he comes to the bench. And Paul Stevens introduced. That'll see them, yeah, as I said before, likely use Undy in that more attacking role. Gasping for air as he does make his way to the bench. So that would be the story for Hoogsley as it comes down the left. Cleared down by Zebras. Sherman spins and wins and plays it back for Harrison. Finds Stevens, the freshly introduced Stevens. Measures a pass for Hay. Been buzzing around since they've gone down to 10 men. He can feel as that fullback he's an extra role to play. Comes to McKeown, slips in for Hay. Giansopoulos out to collect, but we're seeing the threat that Hay poses now. They've got that extra man. Jaden Hay is virtually the one they're choosing to use.
I think they've pushed to a back three. Hayes spending most of his time upfield. Looks like Tolkien's playing right centre back, Fag left centre back, and Tyler Harrison centrally. So with Devonport down to 10 men, they've thrown to three at the back, and Hayes really pushing on in an attacking sense now. And why not? They've got to chase the game here. There's no difference between a 2-1 and a 3-1 really. So they're going to just throw everything they've got at them. No,
they have to do it. It's as simple as that, and it's a smart option. Jaden Hayes, a good man to have in this situation because he's so energetic and quick. Just has those bursts. He has an involvement here as he goes back to Stevens. Stevens back for Hay. Hay out on the left. Pick out Fag, but Fag just misjudges it, and it goes under his boot and out of play. So Devonport will be in no hurry to throw this one back in. Kieran Mulroney.
Not that you'd expect him to attack a lot, but given they've moved to a back three, I would expect Brody Dennehy would be one to look to get in behind here. If they could launch something long in his direction, there'll be a little bit more space down the flanks. Man looks to worry Tyler Harrison here. He's harassing him. He was cool under pressure and just laid it back to his keeper, Graham Wright. Wright takes a touch. More Jordan Muller dropped deep to receive. Here is Hay. Quickly back to Muller. It's very laborious build-up. They've got the extra man and they're just going to use it to their advantage and just wait, probe and wait for a hole to open up. Here's Stevens. Can he find one? McKeown looking to get in behind Dom Smith. He gets to the byline and crosses straight into the hands of Giansopoulos, who shuts that one down.
Stevens has looked sharp with his first couple of involvements. Just nothing silly, real simple stuff, but clean as it comes along from Giansopoulos. They're just playing for the minutes now, but Mann's gifted the ball from Fag and he puts it out for Gorry. Gorry will track it down just before it crosses the line. Gorry now inside of Fag, puts it into the box. Barnard's run comes a little late. Comes out though again for Gorry. He's got Mulroney if he wants him. Eventually goes there. Mulroney a flat, lifeless ball to the edge of the box, and Muller takes it and races away. Out on the left. Finds, is that Jaden Hay again? He's everywhere at the minute. Inside for Stevens. Fag back for Harrison rather, back for Stevens again. Forward and out on the right. He picks out Undy. Undy back to his defence in Toghill. Inside again for Stevens. They're not in a hurry, but they probably need to be as we tick into 85. Tyler Harrison through for Jaden Hay, who has literally been on all in everything as it comes into the box. Giansopoulos gets a little bit on it, not much, but they manage to scrap it clear. Falls at the edge of the box. Walsh brings it down. It's Undy! A dipping effort, but just over the bar and well watched over from Giansopoulos. A nice little effort from the new recruit, and Giansopoulos comfortably had it covered as we tick almost into 86 minutes. So the game really deep doors now, Drew Stutt.
Uncharacteristically uncertain under the high ball tonight, Giansopoulos.
Yeah,
a few times he's come and not really filled his side with confidence. It's not something we've seen from him this year. He's been probably the form goalkeeper of the competition, but just looked a little bit nervy a couple of times. And whilst I have enjoyed the fact the Zebras haven't panicked and just started punting it long to what's a pretty tall defence, so I think this patient probing approach that they've taken with the extra man is the right way of going about it. Perhaps just sending a few crosses in wouldn't be the worst idea given his uncertainty on occasion. Here now is Toghill. Centres it to Undy and Stevens, the new signings combined. He spreads it out wide on the left where Fag's taking up position. Dangerous cross. McKeown was there, getting his frame in the way. Was Grattan the shot, then blocked off by Zupo. Now they'll look to break the other way. It's Dennehy bursting down the left. He's got Mann in the channel if he wants him. He plays it there. He knocks it beautifully around Toghill. Superb stuff that from Braden Mann. He just heads straight for the corner flag. No surprises there. What can he do? Can he win it? He was kicked in the back.
It hasn't gone out.
I
don't think that went out.
I don't think it did go out. Man, not happy. I think he's got every right not to be.
I don't think that went out. I reckon he's unlucky there, man. But Zebras now with the opportunity. And since they've gone down to 10 men, Jaden Hay has been the man. This time he's not. He picks out Mulroney. It was almost a centimetre perfect pass if he was looking for him. Mulroney now just blasts forward, asking plenty of man. It's one in the air and spun around by Undy and finds Walsh. Back for Toghill, inside for Stevens. Stevens, a good diagonal ball over the top of the Devonport defence, but it may be too heavy. It's just kept alive and sprayed into the box, but collected from Giansopoulos. We'll see this one again. I don't think the whole ball's out there. Maybe.
Tough, very tough.
Very tough.
Redford have had a good view in his defence as
Yeah.
he looks to get him behind Toghill, but he shielded him off it nicely. Right, sweeps across to deal with it, then down the line. Walsh just cheating up on the ball a bit with Smith, but Sison again. He's been outstanding today, just wins everything. So hard to get round. He breaks up the play. He really nullified Hugh Sloot well today, I thought, Sison. He's been outstanding once again. Here's Dennehy. They've won the ball back. He just showed a little bit too much of it to Stevens. Was he fouled? No, says the referee. Play on. They look to break. Zupo intelligently reading the ball. That's what he does so well. It was a rare error from him that led to the goal, but he's been doing a lot of that tonight, just anticipating the pass, cutting it out before anything can develop. Toghill now plays it centrally. It was overhit though, and Gorry was there. Out to Dennehy. He'll keep it wide. No, he doesn't. Wrong option. Just tried to chip it in and no one to make the run, and allows Zebras now to build back the other way. It's Fag charging forward with it. Devonport with 6 players back. Fairly tight in and around the box.
Plenty of black and white pouring forward, Drewster.
Jaden Hayes one of them. He dropped it back to Muller. Now Sherman. A rare pocket of space, and he uses it to just whack a shot, which was never on target, and probably just needed to show a little bit more patience there, Sherman.
Right at the dying embers of this game, Drewster. As we tick into the 89th minute. Bit of added time with a few things that have gone on, but you wouldn't expect many minutes.
2 or 3 maybe?
Yeah, I would have said 2 or 3.
I mean, the red card, he walked straight off, so there wasn't really a stoppage there, so I wouldn't have thought there'd be any more than 3. 2 is what I'd think.
This is picked up from Stevens. He's been good since coming on, but this one's not his best ball. Asks a fair bit of Walsh, and Walsh milks. Minimal contact for mine from Dennehy. It might have been a foul, but geez, I don't even know if that is a foul, to be perfectly honest. Just wrestling for position. He's barely got anything of Walsh there.
Just knew the ball was heading straight out and went, oh, in a free kick instead.
And all power to him because they've got one and James Sherman's over it.
Oh, Big Moody about to be introduced.
James Sherman puts it into the box. They head clear, but it's still there for the Zebras. Dropped off, and it's with Undy. Undy into the box, over the back. No one can claim it. Muller will come and collect deep in the corner. Lets it run out. Zebras throw. They want to make a change, the Zebras. Throw comes in. Stevens. The throw had already come in when he signalled a change, so that's an interesting one. Off comes the goal scorer, Adam McKeown, and on comes Moody. Clearly now they're going Route 1 football and really just continue to pose questions to Giansopoulos, who has posed issues under the high ball. A yellow card for Moody for coming on before he's instructed. It's the way it works.
Wow.
So slice of cheese for Moody, it's a rule.
He scored 2 in the Challenge League last week up top. Big Moody. Just
he loves a goal.
He real battering around. He throws his weight about. He's an attacking threat, so not the worst option. There's a reason he wanted his sub made before the throw. Because now he can get Jaden Hay just to heave this one in towards the likes of Big Moody. Just a little bit of rain about at the moment too, just to make it slippery. It's just started showering a little bit in towards the near post. Dangerously flicked onto the back post. The follow-up effort is cleared well by Sison again. Eases it away, Mann. Pressuring. Does well. He's won the ball as he Braden Mann. He's then collected and draws the foul from Muller. Well done, Braden Mann. Savvy work. And a slice of cheese. Into the stoppage time.
Big Zupo with was a decisive touch in the end. Could have been a dangerous one depending on who latched onto it.
No one lurking at the back post.
There was not. Braden Mann for me has been superb, I reckon. Just done a power of work as it comes along down the line. Here he is again, Braden Mann smothers just to make sure it stays in there for at least a moment longer.
These Zebras fans in the stands have seen enough and are taking it off here a little bit early.
Interesting timing. Free kick against Mulroney on Moody, and Moody walking, racing forward in a fair bit of haste. Sherman over the ball. Numbers pile into the box. They're up and Adam. It falls out the back for Dennehy. He should just kick this one forward. Unfortunately, it's a delicate little pass for Tolkill. Probably not what was needed. Tolkill, nice delivery into the box at the edge. Sherman meets it. Giansopoulos with a slight fumble collects. Could have easily been 2-2. He just was able to gather it again. We're into the 93rd now, and it was Dennehy rather with a real rare error. Throw in from Tolkill. Down for Stevens. Back for the defence of Harrison. Harrison lofts long to the bodies, to the numbers. Zupo high, wins with a head out on the left. Gorry there. It's shielded out for a throw in. Thrown in. Mulroney kicks it, but goes the wrong way for him. Sison under it. Someone tunnelled into there. I think it was Mann. But the play goes on and Muller has the ball. Muller across for Toghill. Again, he'll put it in. A chipping ball. Over to the bodies. They'll eat them up. As it comes in, it's panic, it's chaos, it's saved from Giansopoulos. And he gathers.
Nearly the hero, the big substitute. It's a kick save, I don't know if it was just purely positioning or whether he reacted. We have a look at the replay. It fell to Moody. He gets a hell of it, and his leg was in the spot. The final whistle goes. A roar goes up from the Strikers fans. And
what a
decisive blow in the title race. They've fought back from a goal down to win 2-1. Giansopoulos with the save at the end to preserve the victory. And they go 2 points clear on top of the table. A huge result this one, Gilly.
What a victory from the Strikers. Back against the wall in the end, you got to say. They were 1 goal down. They sprung to life. Shot 2 goals in. Braden Mann doing what Braden Mann does. They lost Joel Stone to a couple of silly incidents. It invited a lot of pressure on them. They absorbed it. They swallowed the long balls into the box up. And they walk away with 3 valuable points and remain on top of the ladder and extend their gap to the Zebras.
And get a little bit of revenge on the Zebras too. That was the only time they'd lost this year, was when Zebras travelled up to Valley Road. There was the first goal. Adam McKeown let in from a rare error from Zupo. It was poor from him. He's head in his hands there. He knew it. McKeown just took full advantage. That's what he does, McKeown. He just finds a way to score goals. But it would not last long at all. An immediate response from Devonport. From the kickoff, Stone took it, waltzed past about 4, took it into the box. They eventually won a corner. From that corner, a flat one drilled in from Mann. Took a little touch off a Zebras defender, but Mann claims the goal. That was number 99 for him. He took off celebrating. That was 1-1. That equalised within a couple of minutes. Just a real response of champions. And then Barnard whips it in. A rare error from Tyler Harrison. Let Mann in. Goal scoring instincts from Mann there. There's the century. There's the victory.
You don't let Mann in. That's a lesson for you. And then they lost Joel Stone, and then they sat back. They absorbed. They won, Drewster. They take 3 valuable points. The sour note is that they'll be missing Joel Stone in the massive cup final next weekend. But the positive is they are the team to chase in this title race.
Yep, a defining victory for the Strikers. A massive blow in shaping the title race. It's been a pleasure bringing this one to you. I suppose before we go, we'll run through just a few of the players we liked. For me, I thought for Devonport, obviously Mann had the 2 goals, but I thought so much of this stemmed from the work at the back from big Nathan Grattan. I thought he was perfect in defence, didn't put a foot wrong, shut down a number of attacks, and just in front of him, Syson was fantastic.
Syson for me, man of the match in the end.
Shut Hughes out of it. He had very little impact. He just broke up everything. Loved his work. And I loved what he does week in, week out.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought he was great. Just cut it out, and he was so important in the dying stage. I also thought Braden Mann, he is so often good, and you see him just banging in goals. It was different today for Braden Mann. They didn't come easy for him. He scored 2 goals, but it was just the work he did around the place, the leading of the team. I thought he was terrific. But both teams had a lot of winners. It was a great game of football.
And for Zebras, you'd have to say Henry Fagg at the back was absolutely
thought Henry
superb.
Fagg was resolute. I thought he was really good.
Led the line well. Jaden Hay had a real impact as the game wore on. They're probably the best players from a Zebra perspective, I thought.
Exactly right, Drew. So we'll be back tomorrow for Moria Park for an Eastern Shore Derby that's sure to have a bit of bite. 2 teams that aren't in love with each other. We'll be there to call it all for you. Do join us then. Bye for now.